All right, so let's dig into what the skill package is really all about here. So we're in the course, we go to the modules, and let's go down to the module called the skill package. So let's start with the instructions. So the idea of the skill package is you are going to look through a list of skills and you're going to pick one that you would really like to get better at doing. Remember, it needs to be something that you would like to get better at. It's not meant to be something you're already good at. That would really defeat the purpose of it. The idea is to find a skill that you think you would benefit from actually improving. That's the idea. Now, as you look through the skills, you'll see that sometimes there might be two that leap out at you, in which case you can sometimes actually combine skills together. But we'll take a look at them in a minute. Now, once you've chosen your skill, and you only need the one to work on, you're going to do a series of learning activities. And there's a total of 8 activities that you're going to be working with. You're going to basically do 1 page of writing about each of the activities. Minimum requirement is that each activity has to be at least 250 words, which is 1 page double-spaced. And then you will be completely done, and we'll go on from there. So let's take a look here next at the actual list of skills. Now, there are 41 different skills. Now, I'm not going to read them all to you in this video, but just to give you a few highlights. For example, skill number 2. Actually, this turns out to be the one that I'd say is more commonly picked than any other one. Meet and get to know people, overcome shyness. It's amazing how many people suffer from some degree of shyness. So if that's you, this might be the skill to pick, to learn how to try to overcome your shyness a bit, to get better at that skill. That's skill number 2. Just a few others to kind of go over a little bit. Learning how to argue well, right? Some people have a really hard time being able to argue. That could be the skill you want to get better at. Number 10 is also popular, learning how to say no, how to refuse a favor or request. This is something that's very difficult for some people. Very popular skill. Number 16, learning how to ask somebody for a favor, make a request, or ask to be included in a group. This is a very popular one. Learning how to express gratitude. As you see as we go through the list here, there's no one that's better than the others. It's all a question of which skill do you think would make the biggest difference in your life if you could just get better at that particular one skill. Going down to the end here, the last few have been ones that students have actually added onto the list by giving us some ideas. And in fact, one is a little bit different than the others. Work on a particular relationship. Let's say your skill is that, hey, I'm in a rough relationship. I'd just like to improve it. I'd like to just get better in that one relationship. So the idea is you could do that and by listing 2 to 4 of the skills in the list that would really help improve that relationship, right? So this is another option. The most recent one has turned out to be pretty popular. Learning how to develop your personal relationships by reducing your cell phone and social media usage, what we call a digital detox. This is a brand new one, one that I actually did myself last summer, got a lot out of it. Another opportunity to find a skill that you think would be good to work on. So let's just say for the purposes of illustration that you've chosen your skill. I'm just going to say you've chosen number 2 just as an example, overcoming shyness. So let's go to the next step. So the next step, and you can always click here on next, are the activities, right? The activities themselves. So as I mentioned, the activities or learning plans, as we call them, they're in groups. And there's 8 different groups of activities. The first group deals with writing about the skill. Now, the nice thing here is that we give you choices, right? We give you choices. So here there's 5 choices. You just pick one of these. You just have to pick one out of this group, out of the writing about the skills group. Let's say you just say, hey, I just want to sit down and write anything that comes into my head about the skill. So you would do just that. You sit down, start typing, write out as soon as you've done a full page, 250 words or more, bam, that's what you would save and you'd be done with the first activity, writing about the skill. The second activity is symbolizing the skill in an art form. Now, the idea here is to get creative, where you could use Photoshop, make some kind of a graphic representation of your skill. You could write a song about it. You could make a collage. You could make a cartoon, as long as it's an original cartoon, not something you find on the internet, but a cartoon. We're not going to judge you on your art skills, by the way. This is an activity to help you gain awareness of your skill. It's not meant to be a actual art project where you're going to get graded on artistic talent. So number 2, symbolizing the skill in an art form. Number 3, third type of activity, is practicing the skill. Now, the idea is to basically, and I think this first one is often really the best one to do, is to use the skill, right, outside of class, to try using this particular skill, and then write about the experience, right? So for example, if you're working with overcoming shyness, you might put yourself in a situation where you go to a party or someplace where you normally might not want to do that type of thing, and try coming out a little bit of talking to people, and then just sit down and write about what happened afterwards. All right, that's number 3. Number 4, receiving feedback about the skill from friends and family. So the idea here is you get several different choices. The first one is just asking someone you really trust what his or her opinion is of your performance of the skill. And then you write up a little statement there about what you basically agree or disagree or both. So you're finding out from somebody how they perceive you in that particular skill. Number 5, observing the skill being practiced by others. So the idea here is to observe the skill being used in real life, maybe by somebody you know who's good at it. Or, for example, this is a popular one, interviewing someone who is good at that skill. You know somebody who isn't shy, who's very outgoing. You can say, hey, I'm going to buy this person coffee, keeping social distancing, of course, and just talking to them, or having a Zoom session with them, or calling them on the phone and saying, hey, listen, tell me your secrets. Like, how are you able to do this so well? And then summarize the interview, and there you're done with that activity. All right, so 3 more. Number 6, teaching the skill to someone else. Now, this is the idea where you're going to try to teach somebody else how to do the skill. I know that sounds strange in a way, since you're trying to learn the skill yourself, but it's amazing how much you learn by teaching. So the idea is to create perhaps some kind of learning experience. You might invent a game, make a game, or you might create some kind of a test that like measures someone's ability in the skill. Like you see sometimes in magazines, where like a questionnaire where you have choices and you give people points based on their answers, that type of thing. So you get to be creative again with this, and come up with something where you're teaching the skill to someone else. And then we get down to reading about the skill. This is a little bit more of the traditional research, where you're finding something to read about it, articles or a book, or looking up some quotations about the skill and summarizing them in your own words. You're essentially doing a little bit of research into the skill, doing some reading about the skill, then summarizing it. And then finally, the last and 8th activity is to write a 1-page evaluation of your experience doing the skill package. In other words, now that you're done with it, what did you learn from doing this whole experience? 1 page, 1 summary, that's it. And that is the end of it, okay? That's the end of your skill package. So let's go on to the next page. And then you'll see that it says upload link for skill package, topic, and first 2 activities. So the idea is you're not turning in the whole skill package at once. So the first thing you'll turn in about the skill package is, what's your topic? In other words, what's your skill? Which one are you going to do? And then activity 1 and activity 2. You're writing about the skill and you're symbolizing the skill. Those are the 2. So you'll notice, if we go back to the modules here for the skill package, is that the whole skill package is broken down that way. So you've got your upload link for topic, the first 2 activities. There is a discussion to do in the discussion board area about it. Then you've got a skill package uplink from your 3rd and 4th activities. Same for your 5th and 6th, 7th, and then the 8th, right? And the last part of your skill package is right there. Then finally, the final is here. And this is actually the final for the course. And simply what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be actually posting a little speech that you're going to give. It's not open yet here, but you're going to post a video that you'll give to the computer talking about your skill package and what you got out of it. It's a 2 to 3 minute little talk you're going to give right to the camera and record it, and that will be your final. One last thing to show you on this is it's very helpful to look here at the examples of the final skill package speech. And if you click up here in the white letters, the link, again, you'll go to my Vimeo website here, where we have lots and lots of examples, 78 different examples of people giving their skill package speeches at the end that we recorded. I would recommend you watch, at least a few of these so that you kind of get a sense of what people have gotten out of it and how to go about organizing it. Okay, so that is the end there of how you do skill package. As usual, reach out to us if you have any questions or if you're not sure about anything.